Shay Given might have to have a look at that flight time back to Malaga for his holidays later on to see if he's going to miss it, because there was a lot of delays there, unfortunately for some rather unfortunate reasons, which we'll get into. But Shay Given and Kenny Cunningham have been watching this with us. We might start with the goal, which resulted from a penalty and stuck away nicely by Callum Wilson. Kenny, no doubt about any of this?
No arguments whatsoever, apart from Ashley Young, obviously. Yeah. We'd be surprised if he didn't. No, just in the modern game, just have to be very concentrated in this situation as the defender, throwing yourself to the ground. I understand what he does. He's got a bit of ground to make up. Just got to keep your hands as low as possible. We talk about that natural kind of body position. That's not it. His arms are too extended into the air. So, yeah, no complaints whatsoever. It's a tidy finish.
Eddie Howe was talking about him for the England squad. Shay, what do you reckon?
Yeah, we spoke about it off air. Who would you bring in on the thing? Obviously, Kane's an obvious starter. I mean, Tony, as Breeny mentioned on commentary, and even Tabby Abraham. But I think Wilson, for me, would definitely be an option. And Southgate, you've seen in the crowd as well there, probably watching them today. What
did you think of this Emiliano Martinez incident where he gets a head knock, he's examined by the medical team, they allow him to play on, but subsequently he has to come off?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different laws and rules about it. I think, for me, when it takes 5 or 6, whatever amount of minutes it is, to look at him and assess him by the doctor, the physio, you can see by a couple of these angles, you know, the ball just comes loose and he gathers it up. I think Wilson just sort of pushes Mings into him a little bit. There's no, you know, he's going for the ball. I think this third angle, you'll see it better. It's right on the side of the head, on, you know, the temple, and it's a really, you can just see full knee on the side of the head. It's a real sore one. And I just think when you're assessing him for that length of time, you know, that's why you had 10 minutes extra, you know, stoppage time. I think you need to take him off. You can see here, there's the second instance, and he's still dazed.
If in doubt, sit them out is the basic protocol here. Now, the medical staff, they make an assessment on the pitch, as we see there. Well, there's a tunnel doctor as well who's reviewing video evidence behind the scenes. If there are no clear immediate symptoms of concussion, the player will be allowed to continue, but will be observed continually during play by the medical staff. And if clear concussion symptoms evolve, he will be replaced through those. So I'm sure Aston Villa will say that's what happened. The medical team checked it out. They felt he was fine, and then it developed, and then they took him off.
I agree with that.
But at the same time, if the whole thing,
you can't say at the same time. You have to trust the professionals. There's a qualified physio and a qualified doctor.
I'm not blaming those individuals, but I'm saying, sure,
I'm not blaming them at all.
The protocol's not working if a guy suffers a head injury, is allowed to play on, and then has to come off a few minutes later. If there's any
but you have to trust the judgment of the professionals in that situation. I'm not going to dictate to a qualified doctor in that situation because there's been a knock to the head. Immediately he has to come off. He needs to assess that situation. He's talking to him on the pitch. He knows the extent what we can see it. Knee to the temple. He'll have realised that very quickly when he gets on the pitch. Has a conversation with the goalkeeper. He must have been satisfied. Yeah, I'm satisfied. My judgment is he can continue for a certain amount of period of time, and potentially we'll assess him as we go along.
You're right, the doctor, obviously, but it would be interesting in that moment. Martinez probably saying, I can play on, I'm fine as a player, because I've been there myself. You want to play on, you want to stay on the pitch, but the doctor has to make the decision and go, you don't look right, you don't feel right. It took me 6 minutes to actually get you maybe coming around to your senses a bit. We have to read out to the bench.
And again, we can't, you know, we're not doctors.
Well, I'm just surmising.
We're not saying there was a confirmed concussion. But at the same time, did the doctors not need to be given more help with the protocols? Like, they have these permanent substitutions in there. So that substitute didn't actually cost them a sub. Both teams get an extra sub because of that. So but even in that case, it should be going further, like a lot of people are suggesting, and have temporary substitutions so the doctors can at least get longer, get maybe 10, 15 minutes off the pitch to have a look at the player.
I think temporary substitutions is a fair argument, because there's huge pressure on the physio and the doctor. If you have to take them on, they've got to take them on, they've got to stay off the pitch. And there's a reason why he's starting the game as a goalkeeper on, because he's by far their best goalkeeper. We know it's a stake now for teams. So that's a massive decision for the doctor and the physio, and I think it does alleviate some of that pressure, like you're suggesting, if they can take him off for a temporary period of time and actually get him back onto the pitch. But that's not the case at the moment, is it?
No, the temporary substitutions doesn't exist in football at the moment. A lot of people want to bring it in. Some people in rugby say that there are issues with that as well. There's no perfect solution to something like this, Shay, but would you be concerned? We saw an incident with Robin Koch last season, for example, that this is a problem that football still hasn't fully grasped.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to look into it more. But I understand what Kenny's saying, the doctor has to say, and I get that. But again, you know, the heat of the battle, Martinez is the captain today. He definitely won't want to come off the pitch. But I think the medical team should go if there's
if there's a risk,
Kenny, to his
Yeah, and they'll factor in their best place. That physio, the doc, they'll have a personal relationship with that player. They'll understand him as person.
But they take 5 or 6 minutes to monitor him. Well, there's a risk. But there's a risk, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're in the best position. That's my point. They're in the best position to make that call. I don't think we can step in. You're saying we have to improve. How do you improve it?
Well, I've given you one example. The temporary substitutions is one example.
Well, I agree with you there. But at the moment in time, at this moment, with the situation they were faced, they just have to make a call. And we just have to trust their judgment. It's as simple as that.
What about the events on the pitch? Aston Villa, I think you felt were in this game for large parts before Newcastle scored 1 or 2 chances.
Yeah, they were hanging around more so in the game. And actually, the disruptions really hurt Newcastle, I felt. And towards maybe the last 50 minutes of the first half, just began to offer more of a threat. Aston Villa didn't create too many clear-cut opportunities, but certainly had some promising positions in and around the Newcastle penalty box. Probably just didn't take advantage. Just there, Ollie Watkins, that's a clean hit there from kind of 10 yards out. Should be hitting the target. And again, little kind of breakaway. Danny Ings down the right-hand side. There's an opportunity to put that ball early into the box. Look at Ollie Watkins attacking the back post. Ball never arrives, and the opportunity is just lost. So just shown a little bit before the end of the first half, of course, before Newcastle got the all-important goal. But yeah, it's been a bit disjointed, and it's been unfortunate really, because it started well the game, doing a nice flow to the game, crowd were up, and it's just kind of died a little bit.
We'll see if the energy can pick back up again.